Hey guys, welcome back to Seeking God in the Wait, as we are here doing this video cast to be a huge encouragement to you, especially those people out there who are single and looking to be married. So today we are going to talk about a topic that is super hard for many people, myself included, and that's being super selfless. Not selfish, selfless. So,
Before we start, first of all, we are expecting our second baby. So we're super excited. That's going to happen in a couple of weeks. The countdown is real. So I'm highly pregnant.
Highly pregnant.
Pray for me.
Yes.
But yeah, we wanted to talk about selflessness and what that means in marriage, but how you can even prepare for it before even dating. Before you meet anyone that you are thinking of getting married to.
Yeah, one thing that we found is in selflessness, the more selfless you are, the more selfless two people are, the better your marriage is actually going to be. So what we want to talk a little bit about is before getting into marriage, what does that look like to be selfless?
Yeah, and I think, we've noticed this ourselves, like when we're being selfless, both of us are being selfless, it is just a huge blessing. And we've seen those are the times in our marriage that we feel the most loved by the other person, and those are the times where things run better, even if they're difficult seasons of life and of marriage. So
how would you encourage them to be able to look at this selflessness in their lives? Like, what would you do? What would you encourage them? What would you say to them?
Well, I think selflessness, we're born selfish beings, and but God calls us to be selfless. And in Philippians 2:3-4, it says, do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but in humility value others above yourselves. And that's
hard to do.
that's a high calling. And
yes.
So it's just a biblical principle. And the reason it's a biblical principle is because if we are, then our life, our relationships, our hearts are doing better. Because we are emulating Christ, because ultimately that's what he did. He was not about himself. He did the ultimate sacrifice, and Philippians talks a lot about that. So, practically, what can you do? I'm single, I'm wanting to be married, but, what does selflessness look like as a single person? And I think it's hard as a single person because you have all the time, and you don't have to look out for someone else. You're not responsible necessarily for another person. You might not be living with anyone. Like, your time is yours to determine what you do. But there are some important things that you can do. And I first would say is just reflect, so take time, be honest with yourself. How am I spending my time, my energy, my thoughts, my finances? Are they spent mostly on myself, or am I, looking around at other people? If it's my family, if it's my friends, if it's people in my community, in my church, or even, bigger scale, am I, helping a ministry or something?
For us, it took us to kind of go into the mission field, right?
Yeah.
There was things that were happening before, but I know for me, when I went into the mission field, you're out there and it's not about you. It's nothing is about you. It's about the ministry. It's about doing what God has called you to do. And you learn a lot of things on what it means to deny yourself, deny your flesh, deny the things that you possibly would want to go do, and go serve, right?
But you were doing that even before. Like, you had a house and you took in people, not just your closest friends. Like, you would take in people who were living on the streets and say, hey, you need a place to stay, come stay with me. So I feel like you were practicing that even before the mission field, and that was something that prepared you to not just think of yourself and your own comfort, but to think of the other person and how you can actually help them. So first one is reflect. Take time in prayer. Ask the Lord to show you and to open your eyes to the needs of people around you. And then, start investing. Invest into people. What He shows you to do, where He guides you, and where He opens your eyes to the needs of other people, because there's a lot of need. And when He opens your eyes to those needs, see how you can help.
And one thing that you'll find out is it's interesting how God works is the more selfless you are, the more blessed you are. Like there's just something about like serving others and doing something for others that in that like we find so much joy. And God, how He works all that stuff out. It's crazy that if we just give and deny ourselves and go, do what He has called us to do, like we find blessing in that. And I think that's one thing that we forget is we don't do it for that reason, but God is good enough to allow that in our lives. So we just want to kind of take a little bit of time and talk about selflessness. I know for us, it's the more selfless you are, the more you deny yourself and you put the other first. We have a little motto in our family is outdo one another in love. So it's denying yourself, but doing what is best for that person and really loving that person well. So we just want to encourage you, especially this week or whenever you watch this, like where are you at with that? Where are you at with being selfless? Is it all about you? Is everything that you do, it's all about you? We live in a me society, a selfie society. It's all about me. But let's be totally different than the world. God has called us to be selfless. So as we go out this week, or as you guys are watching this video, we hope that we would encourage you to start your journey if you're not there, to deny yourself and do those things that will really, take action in being selfless. And again, like Johanna was saying, there's so many different ways that you can do that, but it just takes you taking that step, saying, hey, I'm going to be selfless today, and I'm going to do something maybe that I don't want to do. And trust me, when you live a life of selflessness, like you find so much joy in it. And for us, just on a personal testimony, the more selfless we are, the more we enjoy our marriage. And for us, we have an amazing marriage, and it's because we try to practice that every single day. Coming home just tired, like dishes need to get done. I still gotta be selfless and do the dishes. So it's not a matter of like me. It's what can I do for that other person to bless them, and you will have a better marriage. And if you're not married now, you will begin to learn what that looks like, so that when you get into marriage, it will already be established in that moving forward.
And ultimately, we just want to be like Christ.
Yes.
I think that's one of the things that Christ and what God ultimately has for our lives, a life of living for Him and living for the people around us. And that's what's going to fulfill our hearts and our lives the most. It's not when we try and fill ourselves with the things that do us good only. Not that we shouldn't take care of ourselves and see what we need, but I think we naturally tend to do that. But if we are living with eyes wide open for the needs of other people, that's when we feel the most fulfilled. So if it's, cooking a little extra dinner for your roommate, if it's calling up mom and saying, hey, I'm at the grocery store, do you need something? If it's just helping someone. You see someone who needs help. If it's listening to a friend who is going through a hard time, taking the time to go spend with them and sit with them and hear what's going on and hear where you can actually help. And you can do that in so many different ways. So we just pray God's blessing over you guys as you seek Him and as you live and long to be more selfless. And yeah, ultimately live like Christ.
Yeah. So thank you for watching, guys. If this has been an encouragement to you, please send this to people. Our whole ministry is that we want to be an encouragement to help people grow to get ready for that next stage in life as they're seeking God in the wait. So God bless you guys. Thank you. And don't forget to subscribe.
Bye.
Bye.